invite you to, with your eyes closed, with your mind settled, start to follow the breath into the body, right down into the belly. Start to breathe into the belly. Notice the smoothness of your breath. Notice the calming breath as opposed to the controlling breath. Really distinguish between the two. Because once you bring your attention to your breath, often there's this first impulse to want to control it. Like, oh, I have to pay attention to the breath. And then the body wants to go, oh, well, I must do something with the breath. What I invite you to do is simply watch. Just watch the breath move easily and effortlessly through your body. Right down into the belly, breathing deeply. Allow yourself this moment to let go, to be here, now. Because the brain wants to take us into other places. The brain wants to go into the past. The brain wants to go into the future, and really there's only nothing more important than this moment now, because it's the only moment that actually exists. Nothing else exists, just now. So bring yourself fully and completely into now. As you experience this now, I'm going to invite you to access your imagination. This is the part of you that is the creator. Everything that you have ever created started with a thought, an impulse that came from your entire being. And that entire being merged into your brain and accessed your language centers and developed a thought. And that all happened through this magic of your imagination. And so I want you to imagine that you are in a forest. I want you to look around and see what you see. Just notice what you notice. And I'm going to ask you to do something really interesting, which is usually when we're surrounded by tall trees, we're looking at their trunks because we're so much shorter than they are. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to rise up into the crowns, the canopies of the trees, and look at them from that perspective, because you yourself are a tree. You're looking around, perceiving your brothers and sisters. And see if you can experience yourself having a long trunk with roots that go down into the ground. See how far those roots extend, and see how wide they stretch out, because in a forest you don't need to have really deep roots because there's no cement surrounding you. You can stretch your roots out to the side for miles if you choose to, because there's nothing to stop you. In fact, you may even have the impulse of reaching toward a lake or a river or a creek to get more water. Just see what that was like to extend your roots out in all directions. Playing that you are a tree. Just see what that's like. What is it like to have branches that reach out in different directions with leaves that are holding the dewdrops, with moisture coming in through the fog that you're absorbing through your branches, with a canopy that's reaching upward toward the sun. What is it like to absorb the light coming from the sun? What is it like to be surrounded with your brothers and sisters? What is it like for birds to land on your branches, or for squirrels to be running around, jumping through your canopy? What is it like to have new green shoots near the base of your trunk that the deer come by and nibble on? What is it like to have mushrooms growing at your feet? Let your mind play. And notice that this isn't very much different than your everyday life. Think of all the people that you're connected to. They're like your brothers and sisters in the forest. Think of who you make yourself available to. Think of the deer and the birds and the squirrels are like the people that you engage with. You don't know all of them personally. You might go to a market or a department store or a restaurant and have these brief interludes with people. And just reflect on how you interact with them, who you show up as. Are you a stable tree? Are you a nimble tree? Are you an ancient tree? Are you a new tree? Who do you present yourself as? Do you let things close to you, or do you keep things far away from you? Do you let people close to you or keep them far away from you? Just notice. Notice the type of tree that you are. Are you self-nurturing, self-caring? Do you allow others to care for you? Are you open and receptive? Or do you choose to be very self-fulfilling, self-monitoring, self-nurturing? Just notice the type of tree that you are. Do you produce fruit? Do people come and pick your fruit? Are you nurturing others with that fruit? What do you choose to bring forth? Is it healthy or not healthy? Is it edible or is it poisonous? Do you feel that you need to protect yourself? Or are you wide open or somewhere in between? Just notice. There's no right or wrong. There just is. Now I'm going to invite you to notice something. What is it that feeds you? Where do you get your strength from? Do you get your strength from being bolder than all the other trees? From being taller than all the other trees? Do you choose to stay small so that the other trees can provide nurturing for you? Sometimes too much sun for a new tree is too intense, so it needs the shade of the other trees around it. Just notice. where you derive your strength from. Do your roots run deep? Do you follow old traditions? Or are your roots more shallow? Are you looking for new experiences? Just notice. I'd like for you to consider something. Are you able to change? Can you be different if you chose to? What might be standing in the way of you doing something differently or being someone different? If you're in the forest and the variety of trees is minimal and all of the trees around you are just like you, but you don't want to be just like them, can you change? Or are they holding you in place in some way? Have you wanted a different experience? Have you wanted different terrain to put your roots in? Have you wanted more or less moisture for yourself? Have you wanted to escape from the canopy to see over the rest of the trees, to see where you are, to see the environment around you? Have you wanted an adventure? Consider that if an old part of you that you've been wanting to let go of, if you're finding it very difficult to let go, it may be that the forest around you has been holding you in place. Maybe a part of you that you've wanted to let go of, a part of your heartwood, is dying because change is afoot. But everybody around you is still sending their sugars to you, is still giving you the same program, the same constancy, the same information, the same experience. But it's no longer in alignment with the experience that you want for yourself. You find yourself doing the same thing, producing the same leaves, growing the same branches, but truly wanting a different experience. New leaves, new branches, maybe to change your bark, to change your color, to change your height, to produce fruit, or to stop producing fruit, or to change fruit. What would you need to do to let go? What roots have you settled into your life that need to be pulled out so that you could bring about a change? What things have you created that you're done with, that you're finished with? And what energy have you put into those roots, trying to grow them, that now maybe it's time to change? Consider in your life where you have put energy historically that might still be continuing in a way that is still producing the same old result when it's a new result you actually need. invite you to scan your life. Go back as far as you're able to. What roots did you put down? That it is now time to pull those roots up. What messages have you gotten from people that you are no longer in alignment with? That doesn't ring true for you. Somewhere within you, it doesn't make sense, you don't agree with it, or you're being drawn to a higher level of consciousness, looking for a new solution to an old problem, or embracing a completely new way of being and leaving the problem behind completely. Start to pull those roots up, one at a time. Imagine that you're extracting the energy, pulling the energy out of that situation. Imagine yourself to be different. Maybe you're not a tree at all. Or maybe you're a completely new species. What color would you be? What would you look like? Maybe you would even be partly transparent. Imagine that you, as you pull up those roots out of those places in your life where you have placed energy that it is no longer important to have energy in. Imagine yourself feeling a little bit lighter. Imagine yourself taking back your words, taking back your actions, bringing them back into your heart center, giving you a new opportunity to redistribute that energy. Just like you do in the spring, where you've stopped growing your roots and you're ready to send out new shoots, new leaves. And you start to take that energy and send it upward and outward, as if the branches from you are reaching toward the sky, opening those leaves up, sending that crown higher and higher. And as you pull those roots up and you start to feel lighter and lighter, you might experience a lifting, as if you were rising up from the ground. You can feel yourself start to detach. Those little fibers of roots are ripping up from the forest floor. And all the trees around you are in wonder. What is happening here? As you allow yourself to ascend higher and higher, and I don't know if the sky, maybe it's a night sky, maybe it's the sun that you are excited about. Is it the light, or is it the darkness, the space, with all those beautiful twinkling lights, the Milky Way, distant galaxies? Something's pulling you up and away from who you've been, to give you the opportunity to be somebody, something new. And you may just hear your spirit helpers. You may just hear the music of the spheres, the angelic choir. As you get closer to them, you can hear the beautiful, transcendent song of the universe that has always been there, but now you can hear it. As you start to ascend up and out of the forest itself, you might look below you and see the tops of all the trees that have been surrounding you this entire time. You might experience a feeling of liberation. Oh, look where I am, ascending higher above this beautiful planet, but free of it and still somehow connected to it. It's still important, but I don't have to be swallowed up by the forest. I can rise above it, find a new way of experiencing yourself. And as you get closer and closer into the heavens, and that song of the universe is singing its way through your body, as the harmony is cycling in, through, and around your mind, you realize that there is an infinite number of possibilities. The infinity around you, as you look in every direction, there is just space. An endless amount of possibility. And you may feel your heart would start to open up once again, being filled with new aspiration, new inspiration. As you breathe in these possibilities and allow that song to expand inside of you, the rhythm of the tone pulsing through your body, awakening your cells, causing your bones to dance. And you make a decision about who and how it is that you want to be. And you realize that it was never necessary to be anything else. And when you realize this, you can radiate this out into the universe. You become a beacon, a point of creation yourself, radiating love and light and harmony. And from here you become aware of the spirits, the guides, the angelic kingdom. That higher level of consciousness that is available to you, and you realize that you have always been that yourself.